Hi YouTube, my name is Heather and I love anti-MLM content here on YouTube. Today I'm really excited for us to watch a quick video from famous MLM coach Eric Worre, who's going to tell us how to manage our time. I'm really excited to watch this video, and as always, please let me know what you think down below.
Let me give you one of the lessons that I learned when it comes to time management and being productive that changed my whole life. It changed my entire life. It's a secret, and it's gonna make some of you crazy to even think about, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. I've been mentored by two different billionaires in my life, and these billionaires, the first one had 30-some companies. He was worth about $3 billion. He always seemed to have a lot of time. He was never really stressed out. He was active in his community doing all this stuff, and I asked him finally, I said, how do you manage all this? Because I'm frantic. I don't have enough time for anything. I'm stressed out like crazy. He said, well, this was when I was in.
I'm assuming this is when he was younger in multi-level marketing. So he's being mentored by this rich billionaire and saying, like, how do you manage all your responsibilities in addition to running your businesses?
In my late 20s, he said, how much money do you want to make? He said, because there's unlimited money, which is a strange concept to hear. I said, well, because I'd always heard, set a goal to make $1 million a year, be a millionaire. All right.
Sorry, I literally just paused it. But he said, when asked how much money he wants to make, he's like, oh, I'll be a millionaire, $1 million a year. Unfortunately, Eric, you should know this. You do know this. Making $1 million in 1 year does not automatically make you a millionaire. Making $1 million 10 years in a row, probably. But if you just make $1 million in 1 year, you're not going to have $1 million in the bank and in assets and other investments. It's just not going to be the case because you're going to be paying a lot of taxes on that money and you have expenses, of course. So $1 million in 1 year does not make you a millionaire. Unfortunately, that's the definition of being a millionaire in multi-level marketing. I feel like every MLM, Monate, Beachbody, the narrative that's pushed in those companies, oh, I'm a millionaire because I made $1 million in commissions over the course of my Beachbody business, but that doesn't mean you're a millionaire. I will most likely make $1 million over the course of my entire career, but I'm nowhere near a millionaire, obviously. So that's a false definition, sir.
$1 million a year. He said, how much, if you break that down by hour, Eric, that's about $500 an hour. $500 an hour, approximately, for a full-time job equals $1 million a year. He said, Eric, is there a task that you can do?
That's also pre-taxes too, remember. So $1 million pre-taxes, pre-expenses, pre-everything.
That pays $500 an hour or more. And in network marketing, guess what? There is.
So I paused it at a bad time. His mentors say, hey, Eric, are there tasks that you can do that will pay you $500 or more? And then Eric says, guess what? There is in network marketing. Which task do you think he's going to say? Obviously, recruitment, not selling products, because who cares about products? You will be paid $500 an hour for recruiting people. But we know that's false.
If you're in front of a prospect, count up the total number of hours that you've been in front of prospects. I promise you, you've been paid more than $500 an hour for that, or will be paid more than $500 an hour as a result of those hours that you're spending in front of a prospect.
I think he caught himself well there because the vast majority of people who are in his audience are probably not getting paid $500 an hour for the time that they spent in front of a prospect. So I'm sorry for pausing it like 6 times, not even 2 minutes. I'm going to try my best to let him talk.
So I'm like, well, yeah, there is. He said, here's the secret. Secret number 1, anything that you're currently doing that is worth less than $500 an hour, have someone else do. I'm like, what? He said, Eric, do you mow the lawn? I said, yeah, I mow the lawn. He said, how much would it cost to hire somebody to mow the lawn? I said, I don't know, $15 an hour. He said, every hour you are mowing the lawn, you are losing $485. What? I lose $485 for mowing the lawn? That's a reframe.
Because it just means instead of doing the income producing activities of prospecting and recruiting, we are doing basic adult responsibilities and chores. So that's why we're losing money mowing the lawn.
So for some of you doing the laundry, you're losing $500 an hour to do the laundry. You're losing $500 an hour to go get the groceries. You're losing $500 an hour to do household chores. You're losing $500. I was blown away by this idea.
Of course you were, because it's stupid and unrealistic. Adults have to do chores. Adults have responsibilities. We can't just ignore all our responsibilities to just do what makes us, what we're passionate about and what makes us happy, because that's not real life, sir.
He said literally, anything that could be done by somebody else. I'm not talking about raising your children. I'm not talking about tucking your kids in. But anything that could be done by somebody else that's less than $500 an hour, let them do it. Have somebody else do it.
So I'm glad he's saying don't pay other people to watch your children all the time, because obviously being a parent, that's a job worth way more than $500 an hour, because it is the hardest job imaginable to have kids of any age. You're literally keeping human beings alive. So I'm glad that he at least sees the very high value in being a parent. He said literally, and then that made me think of a comment that someone left on my Carl Deichler video, and someone called him Mr. Literally, and I said Mr. Literally is literally describing a pyramid scheme, which I thought was funny. But this is similar to that you need a babysitter to be successful in Beachbody video, but it's taking it a step further. So anything that's not going to get you $500 an hour, you don't have to do. And he's going to go into more detail. So examples of things that I do that aren't worth $500, my laundry, putting my sheets back on my bed after the laundry, cleaning the bathroom, cleaning up after I eat dinner, cooking dinner, putting my lunch together. What else? Going out to get clothing when I need new clothes, or going out to buy new shoes, dusting, just cleaning the house in general, mowing the lawn, watering the flowers. So those are all examples of things that I do that aren't worth $500. So according to Eric, he wants us to hire people to do those activities so we can focus on the income producing activity of recruiting. And notice not selling, because no one cares about products in MLM.
That's point number one. Point number two is you have to make sure that that hour is replaced with you being in front of a prospect. You can't just sit on the couch, have somebody else mow the lawn.
Why not? If it's our business, we should be able to hire someone to mow the lawn and relax and have a nap if we want to, because we're entrepreneurs and we're business owners and CEOs. Right, Eric?
And not be in front of the prospect. Okay, I'll make that trade. Every hour I have somebody do that, then I'll be in front of a prospect. And he said, step three is work as hard as you can to maximize the number of hours that you're doing $500 an hour plus activity. That's step three. Work to maximize those hours, not just the hours you're having other people do other things.
So it's not automatic that you're going to make $500 an hour when you sit in front of a prospect. You might make that much money if you actually recruit said prospect, and then that prospect recruits a bunch of people who also recruit people and sell products, et cetera, because you don't know who's going to be good in your business before they start working it. You could have someone that you think is going to be a rock star and recruit like 100 people, and then they don't do anything. Then you could have someone who you think is going to do a bad job, but then they're like shoot up to the top of the company somehow. So he's making it seem like as long as you just get in front of prospects and you're magically going to do well in your MLM business. And we know that's not the case. And the vast majority of the people here are not making $500 an hour or even $500 a month. And it's so sad, because these people who are in network marketing losing money every single month, they're probably strongly encouraged / peer pressure to go to these conferences, or that's putting them into even greater debt, because remember, you have to pay for transportation, airfare, gas, hotel, food, all of those things. I'm just assuming. I didn't actually look into this conference. I'm assuming he's not providing hotels for you, and that's just putting people into even more debt.
I'll tell you, in that year, I've never mown the lawn again. I don't shovel the driveway if it snows. I don't have the leaf blower taking care of stuff. I don't set up the holiday lights. I don't do any of those things. I have a complete support system designed to do all of those things. I don't put gas in the car. I don't. I don't stop at the gas station. The car's always full. Different mindset, right?
Different mindset, right? You are extremely privileged. You are a white male who claims to make millions and millions of dollars a year and who claims to have extreme success in network marketing. And what you just described is pretty much like a live-in personal assistant for your day-to-day life, because you're not going to hire 47 different people to do all those tasks. Most likely you have a few people who are just on call all the time and who just do everything for you. And why can't you take care of your basic adult responsibilities while also running your MLM business? Because again, like you need a babysitter to be successful in Beachbody Video. You're told that you can work this in pockets of time throughout your day. You're told you can be at home and be a present parent while working your business. And then once you're in, he's telling you, well, don't do any chores. Don't do any basic adult responsibilities other than taking care of your children, at least. Don't do anything to take care of your house, and magically find the money to hire a 24-hour-a-day personal assistant to do everything for you. Because I wouldn't need a personal assistant to do everything 24 hours a day. But if you have a bunch of kids, probably you're going to have tons of laundry, tons of dishes. You're going to have to drive around. You're going to have to go grocery shopping more. So depending on your situation, you might need all the time personal assistant. And I bet you he has several assistants. And I think it's so funny. Oh, different mindset. Well, sir, you are extremely privileged. And 99.9% of the people in that audience are not as privileged as you and will not find your level of success that you had while you were in network marketing.
I make sure that I'm operating at peak potential. And I was like, wow. So you want to have a trick to be able to totally change your life? Get focused on the high activities and then clear the decks of all the other nonsense. Think of the stuff that gives you a sense of identity, and maybe that's not the identity that you're meant to live. Maybe you're not the permanent chauffeur for the world. Maybe you're not the permanent go to the grocery store and get the groceries. Maybe you.
So two things that I do that most adults do that I don't like. I don't like, as I said, putting the sheets back on the bed, and I don't like doing the garbage because it's gross. Eric, it's not in my identity to do the garbage. I'm not a garbage doer. So I'm going to hire someone just to do my garbage once a week so I don't have to do it. Obviously, it's in no one's identity to do basic adult chores and responsibilities. But unless you're Eric Worre, who makes millions of dollars a year, I'm assuming he still does. Unless you're Eric Worre, you can't afford to hire an assistant to live with you and do all this stuff for you. We all have chores we don't want to do, but we just have to do it, right?
You can hire somebody to cook your meals for you.
With what money? We know the vast majority of people in network marketing don't make any money, or they even lose money. So where are these people supposed to magically find their money? Are they supposed to go into even greater debt just on the off chance that they may find minimal success in network marketing? Is that what you're suggesting?
If you go backstage, guess what? Our chef has already prepared all the meals for the weekend. They're sitting back there ready to go. Done. I don't even think about it. So, guess when I started doing that? When I didn't have the money. Not because I have the money now, but when I didn't have the money.
Please don't spend money you don't have when you're already in debt to hire assistants to do the things that most adults just do on a daily basis without worrying about it. Especially if you're already at Eric Worre's conference and you're in network marketing, you're probably in significant debt or you're making very little money. Please don't go into even more debt to hire 1,000 people or one live-in assistant to do all of your basic chores for you. Don't do that.
And you could start the same thing. You gotta decide, is this part of my identity to do all of these chores, all of these things? Or is it part of my identity to be a gift to the world and help have a support system helping me do the rest. Some of you prepare your own tax.
So if we do our chores, we're not a gift to the world. That doesn't make any sense. I know what his point is, that if we don't do our chores and our basic adult things, we have more time to focus on our network marketing business. But unfortunately, being in MLM, you are not being a gift to the world. You are manipulated into the system, and then you're taught to manipulate others into the system, and so on and so on.
Taxes, get a professional, for crying out loud. Some of you paying your own bills.
Doing taxes is not that difficult.
I haven't written a check in years. In years. I don't pay the bills. I have so much psychic damage from earlier parts of my life when I was behind on my bills and stuff that even seeing the mail gives me stress.
I don't know if he was kidding, but if he's not, that's kind of sad. I don't like that. Like, you get a physical reaction from just seeing the mail.
I never even see the bills. They're all just taken care of. I get a report at the end of the month. It's handled. Get the best in the world to help you do your stuff so you can be the gift that you need to be to the world. That was what worked for me. And I promise you it will work for you if you have the courage to do it, because some of you feel like, oh.
If you have the courage to put yourself into even greater debt to hire a 24-hour-a-day assistant.
That's like uncomfortable. I can tell you're a little uncomfortable, yeah?
So that's all I have for today. What do you think about that? Eric Worre telling us that in order to find success in our network marketing business, we have to hire assistants to do all of the chores, all of the home maintenance, the gardening, the garbage, the laundry, the cooking, the cleaning up after you cook, anything that is not to do with taking care of your children, which I do appreciate that. He's not telling us to ignore our children and hire a bunch of nannies to do everything for our children while we just work. I just find it super interesting that he's not understanding his position of privilege as a white male who is very, very well off now, makes millions and millions of dollars. Of course, he's going to have the money to hire all these different kinds of people who do literally every little thing in his life for him, so he can focus only on making money in his network marketing businesses, coaching businesses. And he said when he was in his late 20s, he started doing that too. And before he had the money, and I don't know if that's true or not, it just might be a story to prove his point. But if it is true, that's a horrible decision to hire all these people when you don't actually have the money to do so. And like I said, I think that would put network marketers into even greater debt, especially those at his conference. So what do you think about this? Do you agree about how privileged Eric Worre is and how he's not really seeing how his privilege impacts his ability to hire all these people to do everything for him? So that's all I have for today. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.